We're not really moving away from the dollar. We're moving away from the paper currency, and we're moving to the U.S. Treasury bill, shorter duration than 92 days. I think
Yeah.
in the next 5 or 6 months, the largest holder of U.S. Treasuries will be stablecoins. And it's still the good old American economy that's backing that up. And everybody trusts. 52 cents of every dollar
Right.
invested around the world goes to the American economy. I think this is a good outcome. And I believe what I just told you will be rapidly moving forward because it will be law. It's not crypto cowboy land anymore. We have policy.
Are uniquely positioned in that we have the ability to build out and energize data centers very rapidly. And what that's resulted in is as we're seeing this kind of rush for AI capacity. You know, for example, this morning on CNBC, they were talking about hyperscalers are spending 60% of their free cash flow on CapEx to try and keep up with AI. Well, where we're seeing constraints, is on access to power. So CleanSpark, as an example, started out as an energy company, and 5 years ago, we made a shift to a pure play Bitcoin miner. In that period of time, we've become the largest Bitcoin miner in North America. So what really has led to that is our ability to access energy and land very rapidly and to deploy that. So as we kind of analyze the opportunities, it's readily apparent that the cash flows and the profitability for a pivot or a strategy that's kind of down dual tracks, maximizing the value of our Bitcoin mining operations, but also using that access to land and power to provide AI data center services is really the most appealing for our shareholders.
Yeah, spoke extensively with reporters, but he said he didn't want to share details of what officials are calling a framework economic agreement between the United States and China that could be signed by President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping later this week.
I don't want to tell you what the understanding is, because what we understood yesterday or 2 days ago or even today is not going to be necessarily what it's going to be in 2 days. We're going to have a great talk. I have a lot of respect for President Xi. I like him a lot. He likes me a lot, I believe, and respects me, and I think he respects our country.
Did an optimistic note on those Chinese negotiations, arguing that the president's tariff threat has helped to get a deal.
President Trump a great deal of negotiating leverage with the threat of the 100% tariffs on November 1st. And I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that and allow us to discuss many other things with the Chinese. I think we will be able to discuss them helping us get this terrible fentanyl crisis under control. I think we are going to be able to discuss substantial soybean and ag purchases for our American farmers. I think we are going to be able to discuss more balanced trade.
If I worked in a call center, I'd be terrified. If I was someone like a legal assistant, a paralegal, they're not going to be needed for very long. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
So I think from a common sense point of view, the concern is if you create entities that are more powerful than human beings and you have no idea how to maintain power over them, then you're just asking for trouble. I think pretty much every American understands that. And the polls are extremely lopsided against proceeding with superintelligence. When we look at this from a technical point of view, the basic problem is not only are we trying to build these systems that are more powerful than us, but we actually have no idea how the systems we're building work. So we can't predict what they're going to do. We can't control them. We can't stop them from doing anything. So you get these strange events where, an AI system convinces a child to commit suicide, and the company responsible basically shrugs their shoulders and says, well, sorry, we don't know what happened.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have shorts from ClearSpark and how quickly things have changed. The narrative has switched up. Bitcoin uses all this energy. Bitcoin is not going to survive. It needs to switch over to proof of stake instead of proof of work. And now we have all these data centers, and now you don't hear anything about the energy. And these Bitcoin miners now are giving energy to the data centers. And now we see the setup. When these data centers need power, they're going to pull from the Bitcoin miners. And because these data centers need all this power, you're definitely going to have rolling blackouts. That is a guarantee. If you have data centers where you live, you're definitely going to have rolling blackouts. So you want to have a backup energy source. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you. And we have Trump says a framework for the China deal is here, but he can't explain it to you. And we know why. United States and China are going to two different directions. And we already see China has made moves and the United States has made moves. But the biggest one China could ever do is move all their goods to the emerging markets, and it's showing up in the pricing. And then also the products that we used to have are just not in the stores. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you. Now we have Amazon keeping it coming, laying off over 30,000 corporate jobs. And guys, we know those are definitely the good paying jobs. You're talking about high six figures. And we know those jobs are not coming back. And then they plan on laying off another 600,000 over the next 2 to 3 years. And we know that's because of the rise of the robots, algorithms, and drones. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you. And we have the big tech leaders playing the Hegelian dialectic, signing a petition to ban AI super intelligence. And they know it's coming because they built it. And they know it's only going to get smarter and smarter. They don't want to leave not one job left to humanity. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to get with the creator, so therefore you can start creating. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have big tech earnings this week. On the same day, Jerome Powell is in the house. And we know what that does. It takes the attention away from Jerome Powell. And that's the reason why the masses have no clue of who he is. And yes, we're going to have big corrections in 2026. We have another $9 trillion that we need to refinance. And then also, we always get a big pullback in the first quarter and the third or the fourth quarter. And we're not going to hit that big crash yet until Shemitah year. We're just going to keep getting corrections. Remember, 2026 to 2028, it is time to build. So we will have big pullbacks and then move right back up, but never getting back to the highs. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, don't forget, we are still paying $1 trillion just to service this debt. It is unbelievable. And then we have Fed Jerome Powell in the building, and we know it's plenty of drama going on right now. The government is closed. Markets have already priced in that rate cut. And while the stock market is moving up, we know the economy is taking a beating. The real economy is taking a beating. And this tells you that the markets are nothing but an illusion. 30% of the stock market is in 7 companies. You can't make this stuff up. We have $1, $2, $3, and $4 trillion companies sitting on the stock market. And it's all based on valuation. No money that they've earned. The reason why it's sitting there, because they know all about the 4th Industrial Revolution, where they unleash the robots, algorithms, and drones to take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
When you have easy money, money flows everywhere. Everybody's assumed to win. And as you brought up earlier, Qualcomm now is assumed to be a big winner in AI. But if you notice, NVIDIA, Marvell, and Avago, at least the last I checked, they were all up as well. So right now you're in this environment where, despite investors going, well, how many have won in search? Well, it's just Google. How many have won in e-commerce? Well, that's just Amazon. What about streaming? That's just Netflix. What about audio? Well, that's Spotify. Right now, the assumption is everybody's going to win because you've got this easy money. You're going to get a rate cut, going to get quantitative tightening probably stopping. You'll get another rate cut on December 10th. You'll probably get another one to start next year in January. And then you're going to get a new Fed chairman in May that's going to want even more rate cuts, right? So we've been through this scenario before in 2021. Inflation went from 1.4% to 7%, and the S&P was up 27%. And so you're in that same exact environment where everybody's going to win, enjoy the party as long as it lasts, and then prepare for a hangover sometime late next year.
Right. I was just looking at the last time the Fed cut, Dan, with inflation at these levels, October 08, right? So how much are you worried about the other side of that mountain, as Tepper might say?
Oh, the other side of that mountain is going to be horrific. I mean, I believe that sometime late next year, you end up with a 30 to 50% correction in a lot of these AI-related names. But it doesn't mean, Carl, that between now and then, these stocks can't go up another 25, 50% or more, because you've seen this same picture show in the late 90s. And back then, the Fed was actually raising rates, don't forget. And the market still ripped. NASDAQ was up 86% in 1999, and then it started 2000 up 24% in just over 2 months. Obviously, the hangover on the other side was terrible, but you made a lot of money just sort of staying with it as long as the government kept screwing up and making, as long as you had investors believing everybody's going to win. And Qualcomm today, for me, the interesting part was all the competitors were up. And so we're still in that great mode of, hey, we've got all this money flowing into the market. It's going to find its way into all these different stocks.
Mike, the key, just an assumption, they cut interest rates again, and it's easy sailing, except you and I both know it's different. That committee, Mike, how difficult will it be for the Chairman Powell to communicate anything beyond the October decision?
Oh, it's going to be very difficult because the government shutdown has lasted so long now. We're really in danger of losing the data we would have gotten for October, and who knows what's going to happen in November. They don't meet after a Wednesday until the 10th of December. But I do have a surprise for you this morning, something they can hang their hat on a little bit. We have some data. The Chicago Fed puts together a real-time unemployment forecast. They do use some of the government data in it, but since they haven't got it, they're estimating. And they say in October we would have had an unemployment rate of 4.35%. September would have been 4.34%, so no real difference. They'll update this on November 6th, which is the day before we would get the the payroll numbers for October if they were coming out. But their view is we're not seeing a real deterioration in the labor market. You do mention that Wednesday is the Fed meeting. We have a very light data week because all these data points have been canceled. So you can pretty much focus, except for Wednesday, on all the tech earnings. We do get consumer confidence. And jobless claims, we get now the raw data, 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoons. We adjust it for you. By Friday morning, we'll have a pretty good idea of what jobless claims are.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.